Today we're going to start Chapter 3, Lesson 5, Graphing a Line Using Intercepts. There are two intercepts on the graph that we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about an x-intercept and the y-intercept. The x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. That would be ordered pair x, 0. There would be a certain value for x, and y would be equal to 0. The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, and that would be point 0, y. Please feel free to pause the video wherever you need to in order to take these notes down on your note paper. Next, let's go through an example problem together. If I were to give you the equation y equals 3x minus 6, we would like to graph that line using the x and y intercept. So, please write what I'm writing on your note paper as well. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to make x equal 0. We are going to make x equal 0, and we are going to substitute and solve to find the y-intercept. So we are going to substitute and solve to find the y-intercept. So 3 times 0 minus 6 means that the y-intercept is 0, negative 6. Then I am going to plot that point on my graph. This point, 0, negative 6, is my y-intercept. Next, I am going to make y equal 0 by substituting and solving. So I will substitute and solve. I'm going to make y 0. So now I have the equation 0 equals 3x minus 6. I have to add 6 to both sides. 6 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. So I find x equals 2. This point right here is my x-intercept, 2, 0. And I will make a point there. The third step is to plot the points and draw the line. I have already plotted the points. If you did not, now is the time. Plot points and draw the line. That is how you graph a line using the x and y intercepts. So we will be finding 2 points. The steps to solve for the intercepts. In order to find the x-intercept, y must be 0. So our ordered pair will find a value for x when we substitute in 0 for y. To find the y-intercept, we will substitute in 0 for x, and we will find the y-intercept. We are now going to move through the video with 6 different examples. On your paper, you need to separate the 2 sides. Example number 1 will start on the left. The first equation is x minus 2y equals 12. Going back to our steps that we've written above, the first step is to make x equal 0. X equals 0. So, x equals 0. 0 minus 2y equals 12. Negative 2y equals 12. Divide by negative 2. Y equals negative 6. The next step tells me that I need to make y 0. So down here, I will do my work for when y is 0. So I have x minus 2 times 0 equals 12. I went back to the original equation. I will highlight that. This is the equation that you go back to when you substitute. Here, I made x equals 0. In the previous section, I put in 0 for x. Down here, we are on y equals 0. So now I have x equals 12. So now I have point 12, 0. The x-intercept is right here, 12, 0. I'm going to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 0. And my y-intercept is going to be point 0, negative 6. I will also count by 2s, 2, 4, 6. So my point is 0, negative 6. I have now graphed the line x minus 2y equals 12. Please pause the video if you need to continue these notes. If you are ready to move on, let's move on to example number 2. Example number 2 is going to use the equation 3x plus 5y equals negative 15. The first thing that I need to do, if I follow my steps, is I need to make x 0. So I am going to substitute in, and I'm going to do 3 times 0 plus 5y equals negative 15. 5y equals negative 15. Y equals negative 3. So I have just found my y-intercept, 0, negative 3. Next point that I need to find my x-intercept, which means I need to make y equals 0. So I will copy my equation, 3x plus 5. Instead of y, I will use 0 equals negative 15. So now I have 3x equals negative 15. Divide both sides by 3. So x will be negative 5. When y is 0, x is negative 5. So my x-intercept is negative 5, 0. First, I will graph my x-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, negative 5, 0. Then I will graph my y-intercept, 0, negative 3. And then I can connect my lines, my points, to make a line. And that is how you graph 3x plus 5y equals negative 15 using intercepts. The next two examples. We're going to draw a line and separate our paper. The next example is going to include a fraction. A half x minus 9 equals y. The first step tells me to make x equal to 0. So I am going to substitute in 0 for x. So a half times 0 minus 9 equals y. So negative 9 equals y. so 0, comma, negative 9, is my y-intercept. 0, negative 9. Actually, there's not enough to count by ones. So in this case, you may need to count by 3. So I'm going to do negative 3, negative 6, and right here would be negative 9. So 0, negative 9. Next step tells me to make y equals 0. So now I'm going to substitute in 0 for y. So I have a half times x minus 9 equals 0. Add 9 to both sides. So half of x equals 9. In order to get rid of a fraction, you can multiply both sides by its reciprocal. So x equals 18. So on my table, I have 18, 0 as my x-intercept. Good thing I decided to count by 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So that would be 18, 0. And then I can connect my 2 points to make my line. Actually, I'm going to make my line with a highlighter so that we can still see those 2 points there. And that would be line 1/2 x minus 9 equals y. Our final example is done the exact same way as the other 3. This also involves a fraction. The problem that you're going to be given is y equals 2/3 x minus 2. The first step tells me to make x equal to 0. Y equals 2/3 times 0 minus 2. So y equals negative 2. So the y-intercept is 0, comma, negative 2. 0, negative 2. Next, let's move on to the x-intercept. We make y equals 0, so 0 equals 2/3 x minus 2. We need to add 2 to both sides to start. So now I have 2 equals 2/3 x. In order to get rid of the fraction, I need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal, 3/2. 3/2 times 2 is 3, and that equals x. So the x-intercept is 3, comma 0, and that would be right here on your graph. Then you can connect both points by drawing a line. That line represents y equals 2/3 x minus 2. Hopefully this all makes sense. I'm going to leave you with 2 problems to try on your own. Again, please make sure that you separate your paper if it's not separated already. And the 2 practice problems you are going to work on your own. Make sure that you refer back to your other problems. Also, re-watch parts of this video if you're not sure how to do this. The first one is 6x minus 2y equals 18. Remember, in this box, you make x equals 0. Down here, you make y equals 0. And the second example you need to try is 4x minus 6y equals 12. Again, up here, make x equals 0 and solve for y. Down here, make y equals 0 and solve for x. Once you think you have solved these 2 problems, please bring your work up so it can be checked. Have a good day.